A very good morning. Welcome to Chartbusters. Well, this is the show. We highlight all the buzzing stocks of the day. For starters, this Friday morning, we're trading deep in the red, but that's really the scenario that's playing out in all the Asian markets. I'm Nigel D'Souza, and with me is Rima Tendulkar. Hey, Rima.
Hi, Nigel. For one, Asian markets are weak, and secondly, we've had a pretty good run, right? As your data pointed out, the markets have ended higher for the last three series, so September, October and November, and in these three series, the Nifty's rallied close to about 1,200 points. The Nifty Bank has been an outperformer, so I guess it's not so bad when you give up a little bit of ground and become a little healthy and consolidate. But for now, as we speak, down 0.5%, though the momentum is intact in the broader markets, with the mid-cap index up 0.5%. A look at the top headlines that we're tracking at this hour first. Yes Bank gains ahead of its board meet to decide on capital raising today. Sources tell CNBC-TV18 that one large investor with a clutch of small investors are likely to infuse around $1.2 billion.
And India Bulls Housing Finance continues to gain. CLSA says the MCA affidavit should abate some concerns and believes that clarity can improve the company's access to the debt market, aiding liquidity and growth. CLSA retains their buy with a revised target of around 450 rupees per share.
Future Group stocks on fire today. Competition Commission gives a go-ahead to Amazon to acquire 49% stake in Future Group-owned Future Coupons.
Well, some of those mid-cap stocks are doing quite well, and keep an eye out on some of these Adani Group stocks. Now, they have started bouncing up out of nowhere. Pull up Adani Power. That stock is up nearly around 7% approximately. You should pull up the intraday chart out there. Adani Enterprises as well is spiking up as we speak. So keep an eye out on a couple of these names. They're moving, and they're moving with rather good volumes as well. Though it's a bit of a down day for the headline index, that's the Nifty. Some of these stocks are doing well. So even in Equitas, that stock is spiked up. And from the cement pack, Ramco Cements has moved quite well. It's moving virtually to the high point of the day. So that one as well should be on their radar. But how do you trade the Nifty from here? Should you be looking to buy the Nifty at some point of time? We are at around the 12,080 odd mark. We have Samit Chauhan who joins us to give us his trade on the Nifty as well as on the Nifty Bank. Well, Samit, as we said earlier in the show, we've had a good run, a good series, that's a November series. Would you be looking to buy into the Nifty and the Nifty Bank at some point of time, or do you believe we're likely to slide lower?
Morning, Nigel. Yes, as you have highlighted that most of the Asian markets look a bit nervous since morning, and we clearly have a rub-off effect of this, and we have already rallied quite a lot in last couple of weeks. So some kind of profit booking is clearly evident. But the overall texture still remains bullish. We are in a strong market, and that is what we witnessed in last couple of weeks. Every intraday dip or 2 days decline is clearly getting bought into. So that's a sign of a strong uptrend, and this is what we would like to follow. This dip, we are likely to follow this dip, and 12,000, 12,050 being the immediate support base. So as a positional trader, for that matter, as an intraday trader also, I would look to buy in this decline, keeping a stop loss below 12,000 and a positional target. We would expect somewhere on Nifty heading towards 12,200, 12,250. Similar goes with Bank Nifty as well, which has been clearly giving strong moves in last 4 to 5 days. So we would expect this move to extend in Bank Nifty also. As far as levels are concerned, 32,500, 32,800, these are the next levels to watch out for in Bank Nifty. As far as individual stocks are concerned, despite the fact we are seeing some profit booking in benchmark indices, there are individual stocks that are clearly bucking the trend and looks good from here on, at least with a short-term view. So we have 3 buy calls. First one would be CSC, which has corrected substantially over the past couple of months, around 700, 720. It appears that stock has a very strong support. So we would expect a decent relief move in CSC. Can be bought at current levels. Stop loss around 744. Target 786. The other buy call would be on Lupin. Clearly the pharmaceutical space has been buzzing, and it seems that it is out of a slumber after a long underperformance of nearly 3 years. So Lupin, with a short-term view, we are recommending for a target of 838, stop loss around 788. And our final buy call would be on Tata Steel. This is one of the stocks which has given stupendous move over the past 8 to 10 days. So we would expect Tata Steel to head higher today's decline is likely to get bought into. 4 and 12 would be the stop loss level, and we would expect this stock heading towards 454 over the next few days.
What about L&T Finance Holding? As we've been pointing out since morning, the stock has come off very sharply from its recent peaks. It had practically halved to levels of 80, and from there, in the last couple of months, it's been putting in this rally. At levels of 120, what is the chart telling you?
Clearly, Rima, if you see in last 5 days, this stock has rallied nearly 18 to 20%. So it has been consolidating, and the way it gave breakout 4 days back, around 800, and the kind of volume activity that we have been witnessing is quite encouraging. So from here on, any dip would be a good buying opportunity. Yes, considering the short-term view, the low-hanging fruit is already gone. So wait for a breakout or some kind of time-wise consolidation. Any dip toward 115, 112 will make it a good risk-to-reward ratio. So 105, 108 being the near-term support now. We would expect this stock, heading towards 130, 132 quite soon.
Okay, all right. Thanks so much, Samit, for joining in and filling us in with all those details. But keep an eye out on Ramkrishna Forgings. Remember, that's the management that joined us earlier this week. They had told us here on CNBC-TV18 that they continue to grow in the North American market. They also told us that North America contributes nearly around 70% of the company's total exports. And they also added that the domestic market saw some improvement in the past month itself, and they expect next year to be better than this one. They indicated basically that they're seeing some kind of return of demand in the mining space. And just take a look at that stock. It's moved higher. I think in the last 1 month or so, that stock has moved higher. It's moving higher on bigger volumes as well. So keep an eye out on that one. But let's focus on Yes Bank. Now, that stock is gaining ahead of the board meeting that's scheduled later today, when they'll be finalizing the capital raising plans. Nisha Podar has been tracking that story, and she's joining in to give us all the latest on that front. Hey, Nisha.
Hi, Nigel. Yes, it's the big board meeting that is slotted for today. I hear in the second half of the day, the board is likely to meet and then announce the capital raising plan. The success actually depends on the kind of response it has really got from the smaller investors, because the company is trying to conjure up $1.2 billion with one large investor and several small investors, because we do gather from sources with direct knowledge is that RBI may not be comfortable with one investor taking the full $1.2 billion worth of stake. So 15 to 20% by one big investor and rest from the small investors is what we are gathering at this point. And of course, the success depends on the kind of response that they have so far got. We have, remember, earlier also reported that Hong Kong-based SPGP Group, along with some Canadian family offices, had put in a full term sheet of $1.2 billion. Whatever is decided by the board will have to be approved by the RBI.
Thanks, Nisha, for that. That's going to be a big one to track today. Nigel, you and I both drive the car, and I'm sure, we're also as guilty as so many others to be distracted while driving. So whether it's checking your phone or it's changing the music, listening to Bluetooth, talking on the phone, checking out what your son is doing in,
sitting in the
baby seat. Is he sitting? You just quickly turn around and see. And I guess this message goes out even to us and all our viewers that when you're driving, like in the case of investments, that don't be hasty, be safe, be secure, follow the rules, follow the speed limit.
All right, be the better guy then. Network 18 and Hyundai's initiative towards ensuring road safety in India.